Hello, good evening and welcome. It's evening time. I know it's a little bit different, but stick with me because this is it. There's a master plan. Well, there's a bit of a plan. I've got a vague idea as to how things are going to continue. So yes, we'll see what's happening. But today it's Wednesday. It's Wooden Wednesday, so I shall be continuing the build of. I almost got it. Damn, there we go. The Monowheel, which is a Ugears wooden kit, which I started building last time, and I'm continuing this time. I doubt very much that it will be finished this week. I think probably one more after this one, but we'll build it. You know, I'm building by ear, or by fingers mainly, but by ear as well. So we'll figure out exactly what's going to happen. So very shortly, I shall move the camera down to the one down there, so we can continue on with it and see what's going. I'll have a look through the chat first, as ever, and welcome everybody that's watching. Man was here first, a couple of hours ago by the sounds of it. Then that was about a Dexterous Crafter. Then Lynn was come here as well. She's been able to make it because it's a bit later today than it was earlier, so it's not middle of the night. So she's actually been able to watch it because she's up and not at work. So they were all chatting in there. Eric's here as well. That's that. That's everybody. Everybody still. Graham popped in. Had some bad news. He had to reorder the resin cockpit because he broke it a bit broke off. But yeah, it might glue, but probably not. But yeah, that was Graham. Edward's also around here as well, saying hello everybody. I do like a bit of Halo. But yeah, Mayhem is here, and Raging Modeler, and Dad Scaly Models is also popped in. Anybody new? Shane has come in there as well, saying hello to everybody. Mayhem, Connorman, Mayhem, Lynn. Time to fix lunch. It's not lunchtime. It's 7 o'clock in the evening time. But there we go. Right. So yes, that's who's here. I'll come back up here again at the end, but for the middle bit, I'll be down. I say it's there. The bench is there, but the screen is there. But they'll be swapping around. So I'll be here briefly. About there-ish, yeah. And that'll be, well, here. So I'll switch that around. As I say, I'll stay up here, because I've got 2 cameras, I might as well use them. So hopefully you won't get bored looking at the side of my face, but, you know, I can turn and look at you occasionally, because it makes me feel connected. But the important things are going to be happening down here now. Let me get rid of the mouse, because I don't need that anymore. Here we have the model Monowheel. Assemble me, propel me, it says. And previously, on Wooden Wednesday, I've been doing this. I've got deliberately autofocus on the camera because things are going to be happening at lots of different angles and levels. So hopefully it can keep up. It's pretty good. I've got quite a bit of light actually. I put a little bit more light on here as well. More light, so it's got more chance of focusing. And that's what we'll be continuing with. I obviously do, of course, have... Thanks to Candygram for Candygram for Mongo. Sent me the brandy, so I've still got some of that. Here we go. Chris Campling's here. He says he's almost fixed his Ugears train. Is it just a wearing in problem that you had with it? Because the flying thing, the aviator, bits of it work independently. The helicopter itself works fine, and you can even turn, you know, a little bit, and the big bits turns. But when you put it into the flying thing, it doesn't sort of gear up and work properly. The plane works most of the time, but this one sort of seems a little bit... Well, there's more going on in it, and it's a little bit stiffer and not quite right. But I think that's just down to it being not used enough. You need to basically keep every bit you put in, you need to turn and manipulate to make it as free as possible. But I'm happy to have that just as an extra piece. For instance, this bit I've made just by sitting there twiddling with it occasionally. It's very, very free and works lovely. And I'm sure that's going to increase the use of the actual thing. The wheels and the gears are all turning as they should. The little switch, when engaged, stops it from turning that way and gives it that lovely clicky bit in there of that all working. So yes, that's what we've done so far. Chris says he has to take it all apart and fix it all and then wax it all. Yeah, it needs more waxing than they say. So, in this kit, which I've done previously, basically what you get is, was it 4? 4 of these wooden sprues, some of which have had bits taken off of them, obviously, because I've started doing the build already. So we have those like that. That's obviously the one on the other side of that bit. We have some bits because, for instance, probably came out of there because I needed the ring from there, but that was inside the ring. So there are some loose pieces now. I had to use a part of an elastic band, so I've kept the other bit just in case. We have the wax that I shall be using to wax the bits. I'll keep that to one side. We have the sandpaper, which you need, again, to sand off the little nubs and things. We have the tool for pushing out and pulling and hooking and stuff. Other spare bits, and 3 different types of elastic band for the building of whatever needs building. So, the box itself, I shall move over there. I don't want to put it on top of the keyboard, because that might press buttons and cause all sorts of problems. But there we go. Gemma's in. My wife was watching. I wasn't going to mention it, but look. I'm not going to say how that happened, but let's just suffice to say, don't threaten to time out your wife from your streams, because things like that might or might not happen. Nothing. I can't say why it happened, but Right. Looking ahead, I've crossed that out because I've done that bit. I remember doing that. I remember crossing it out from last time. I'm being shouted at from downstairs now. See, the abuse I suffer for my art and for your entertainment.
She said you might regret doing that.
Yeah, apparently I might regret doing that. See, threats live on telly. Right, continuing the build. I don't remember if that was what I needed for that, or if that's what I need for that as well. It looks like that was probably just that, and that's probably just that. So I shall get sprue number 3, which has a 3 on it. I've got a fox. My nose has started dribbling, so I've just started turning the cameras on. So let me mute you. I'll remember to unmute you, but you don't want to hear me sniffling and blowing my nose. So I'll be back momentarily. Or you'll be able to see me, but you won't be able to hear me. Yeah, nobody needed to hear that. We need to send Chris some of those peanuts, says Eric. I don't like peanuts, so no thank you, but yeah. Conveniently, I don't like peanuts. Right, let's see. Now, the way they work on these is it shows you the parts you need are sort of darker in colour. So by the looks of this, it's those 4 bits, and 2, 4, that looks like the 4 bits, so that's nice and easy. So we get those 4 bits popped out. If you haven't watched one of these previous builds before, these are like a laminate wood, and they're then laser cut, obviously to put in the little markings and engraving on them, and to make them easy to come out. So there's little sort of nubs that sort of hold them together, but they're not really nubs, and most of the time you can get away with just pushing it. Most of the time, but sometimes you can't. That one can. Look, see, there you go. Well, it can on one side. Now this kit isn't as nicely produced as the previous one, the Model Aviator. It was cheaper in money to buy, and it feels it. You can actually tell the quality difference between them. So yeah, Salter, he says Wooden Wednesday followed by Divorce Tuesday. Right, so I am just sanding to get rid of the rough edges, where this might well be a turning part by the looks of it, since it's got cogs connected to it. It's likely to need to turn and rotate, so you need to make sure there's nothing that's going to jam up and rub and freeze and cause problems. Gemma says she's not admitting to bruising me. She doesn't admit it. No, she doesn't admit it. Doesn't mean it doesn't happen, but she doesn't admit it. Right, again, I'm just sanding and taking the very corners off of this, just to make it bite a little bit nicer. Now, depending on where the nubs were, I can't really see it. It looks like they're probably on the inside there, so you'll probably get away with it because they very rarely use the insides of the teeth. But you might want to make sure there's not going to be causing any problems, because like Chris was saying with his other train thing, sometimes it just gears up a little bit too much. Chris says he used emery boards for burrs to make it easier. Yeah, I've got some sanding sticks and things that I could use, but I like to use what they supply you with where you can. Sometimes you do need a knife or something like that, but on most of my builds, of all things, all kit related, I like to generally try and use what they either provide you with or what they tell you to use, because not everybody that's building or following along with these has got supplies of, emery boards and things like that. So if they supply you with a bit of sandpaper and say use that, then you should be able to get good results from just using that. There we go. That was a little bit bigger nubs on that one. So that was that. Need to show him who's boss, says Lynn. She doesn't need any advice, honest. Right. Athel's here, says, evening all, sweet and sour rice in my belly, new order on, in with Games Workshop Primera Spaceballs. Yeah, I heard they released some new stuff, but it doesn't really bother me, so I haven't looked into it. Although I do still need some more lead belcher, so I shall be popping down to my local Games Workshop shop tomorrow when it's open today. Obviously with lockdown easing, a lot of non-essential retail, that's what they call them, a lot of non-essential retail opened Monday, myself included, and Games Workshop don't open Mondays and Tuesdays, so they didn't open until today. Now, I'm sure it's not like that. I wasn't paying attention, but I'm sure there's something there. Look, it says make sure they're together. So, if you turn that around 90 degrees, it goes together. If you turn it another 90 degrees, it will go apart, and another 90 degrees, we'll go back together again. So as long as they're together, it doesn't really matter which way round they go, because it's going to turn. Now I've got those all together, I am just going to go in with a bit of folded up sandpaper, just to go through the teeth and give them a little bit of a sand across the flats of the teeth, just to stop them binding up against each other. Having Chris on the 55-inch telly is sort of odd. His hands are as big as the thing from the Fantastic Four. Yeah, and I've got a face here as well. I'm not going to do the whole face under the camera thing like that. I won't do that, because that upset people when I did that on Monday night, and Fox did that, so I won't do that. Actually, now I've got the little delay of the stream, I can actually see what happened there. It's right. So yes, a little bit of sanding for this. I've got no idea what this is. It's obviously big teeth, so it's probably quite an important piece. There we go. I haven't been counting teeth either, but I'm pretty sure I've got round, if not all of them, then certainly most of them. And any light sanding or burring on the last couple of teeth will sort themselves out and wear down, but most of it's fine now. There we go. So that's that. I can turn over the page now. Right, so I need 1 and 3. There was 3 because I had that earlier. It was 1 on the top because that would have been the convenient place for it to be. It was. Right, so let's put that to one side. Quick drink because, you know. Right, from 1. I need that bit down the side, that bit over the other side. And that looks like it. So it's this one that's a bit like the one that I've just done. There we go, heard a little creak. Generally a good sign. So that's that bit, and then that bit from that side there as well. Apparently my eyeball was bigger than Godzilla's. No, I'm not going to go there. It's fine. That was that. Right. So that was from that one. From this one we need lots of intermediate bits. Which way round is the thing? That way round. so I can get the bits in the right places. I do need some bits from in here, which I haven't got, which are in the box. I shall get those momentarily. But while I've got this, let's get the rest of them out. We need that. Now, these have got numbers on this, 40, 41. So if I put 40 there, then 41 underneath it, that's a 40. So let's put that on the top one. And 41 underneath it. Need these as 42, 46, 46, 42. Okay, well let's continue the trend of numbers getting bigger. So we'll put 42 there, and the other 42 on top of it. And then a couple of 46s. Someone's a liar, what, hey? Edward says, Chris, I thought you only built 144 scale. I started to build 144 scale when I started the channel nearly 3 years ago. I have a large selection of 144 kits, both built and in the queue to be built at some point. But there's not such a great selection of it. There's lots of planes, but not so many. It's one of these I need as well. Not so many other things. I mean, obviously things are tiny in that scale. So if you've got, you know, a car, it's going to be microscopic. It looks like just that one off of there and nothing else. And I need a few bits from there. So I'll get the bits that I had missing out the board, out the tray. So in here I've got that, and that. They look like they might have been. That looks like that was that corner up here. That looks like that was that one from down there. And that looks like that was probably that bit across there. So all of these are getting used. That's good. I like having less bits to choose around from in the box. So they do still need popping out. So let's see, what have we got? 47, 48 and 49. That's convenient. That was 50. I remember that. I don't remember what number they were. But we'll worry about that later. They're 43 apparently by the looks of it. So we'll figure it out from the shapes and the numbers. Gemma said, I remembered how you got bruised. It's because Fox put his head under the camera. It made her laugh and she overbalanced. So I have to accept the blame for that, for her hurting me when I was getting her back balanced again, when I had to disappear to go and fix her. So yeah, obviously my fault. Right. Once I've got all of these out, there will be a little bit of sanding required. Because there always is. Right, something about Wednesday's day off. Don't know what that was for. I know what I'm going to send Fox now. You'll have to wait for it, says Lynn. You can tell us. He doesn't watch this anyway. You can tell us. He won't know. It'll be fine. Edward says, that's why I don't understand. 135th mostly armour, but the matching planes are in 132nd scale. I don't know. Scales on a lot of manufacturers, they seem to make up the scales after the fact. They sort of design a lot of the sci-fi things, especially. They'll build a model. As far as I know, this is the way it works. They build a model, and then think, oh, that's a good size to have it, and then they work out what scale it would be. That's why some of these Revel kits and things come out at, like, you know, 1 to 105 and things like that. It's a, I say a made-up scale. I know they're all made-up scales, but they're not a normal scale that anyone else would use. And of course, a lot of train enthusiasts use different scales that are numbered, lettered rather than numbered, but obviously still have a rating, but I don't know exactly what they all are. I think N gauge is close to 144. It's like 146 or something. But yeah. Lynn says she knows what she's going to send you. It's not peanuts. It's something bigger, hotter and longer lasting. It's still burning her mouth. I don't think I want to know about that. Mayhem says it's probably his fault because he said big telly. That might have been your fault then. Yeah, I'll accept your blame for that. I don't mind accepting blame from anybody else for something that I didn't do. Right, so we're about halfway through tidying up the bits. How have you all been anyway? What have you all been up to? I'll have a look at the camera over there because I can. I've been back at work this week. I'm only doing half days to begin with. We're easing ourselves in gently. But yeah, from Monday I've been back at my retail work, so been serving the customers and talking to people and seen more real people in the last 2 days than I have, for the last 3 months. So yeah, that was been interesting. Going back to work was good and bad. Obviously it has to be done, things have got to go back to normal, you've got to earn some money and stuff like that, but Gemma says it's always Christopher's fault. So yes, yeah, things have got to start to go back to normal at some point. It was always known that it was going to happen. When I started not being able to go to work, it was very strange and, almost not knowing what to do to yourself sort of thing. Edward says N scale is 160. Oh, I thought it was closer than that, but yeah. I think a different American European N gauge is different. As they often say, it's between this and this, and sort of, it can be one scale or slightly like another one. Athel says, Chris, have you been to the barbers yet? I haven't been to the barbers for about 15 years, 20 years maybe. It's been a long time. I've got an easy hairstyle. I just trim it and get clippers and cut it off, which I haven't done the top of my head yet since lockdown. Lockdown day, when lockdown started, I just did a very short buzz cut all over my head. I wasn't yeah. I had to shave the beard a couple of times in that space because I don't like eating stuff through it. But yeah, I haven't touched the top of my head yet. It's getting to the point where I'm going to have to because it's getting a little bit long for me, but I do it myself anyway, so it doesn't make any difference. I don't think barbers and hairdressers are open quite yet. Mayhem says, thank you, Chris, because big telly. Right, there we go. That's the sanding done and the cutting off and the things. Now we've got to do this difficult bit, which is making it all fit together. So we've got that. I've moved them all around a bit, so I don't know which is which now. We've obviously got the 40s either side, and it doesn't say anything about sanding those or sticking those, so how far on will they go? They've obviously got to go far enough on to catch onto those, so I reckon they'll go a little bit further than that. Yes. There we go. So they go on and capture the two cogwheels in between themselves. Lynn used to have an HO track. Edward says no, HO is the only one which is different, but only in England they use 176 scale. That's the reason there's so much stuff in this scale. Okay, very strange. I don't understand it. There you go. Eric says N scale is 148 in the UK, 150th in Japan, and 160th elsewhere. I thought it was something like that. There you go. And Shane backs me up and says it changes throughout other countries. That's why I'd obviously been 144, 148. You're not going to notice the difference really. Even two figures standing next to each other, of which, there you go. That's a 144 person. If that was in 148. He'd be slightly shorter, but no shorter than, someone who's a bit shorter. So you can certainly get away with that. Alright, that was 40. This is 41, which is the same but slightly smaller, so it doesn't go on quite as far. It'll only go on to that bit there, which is the same the other side as well. This is why the sanding down of that's helped. Sometimes you might need to lubricate that as well to get them on, but it's worked for me so far. Then we need 42, which is the cogs with the cross on them. And that says it needs lubricating, which will be lubricating the cogs themselves. because they'll interact with other cogs. So that's that on there. I shall just wax in all of the teeth there. It'll hopefully get worn in, rubbed into wherever it might need to go that's not exactly here, but that's close enough for me. There we go, that's that. Oh, a bit of wax has broken off there, but I'll use that in a minute anyway. Then we have 43, which would be the ones with the crosses on them. There we go. That's those. 42, yeah, 43. So it's the same both sides. And it says that needs lubricating as well. Also, as that's obviously where it's supported and going to be rotating around. Why can't it be a universal standard? Damn it, says Mayhem. Where would be the fun in that? I don't know. It's the same as, you know, manufacturers. Obviously, they need different scales for different people. You wouldn't all want to be building in the same scale. Nobody would, you know, you'd all be cross if you all had to build in 144 scale. Because you'd all be moaning that it's too tiny and you can't see things and you can't pick up bits and you can't get the detail you want on it because it's too small. But, you know, equally, if I was to try and build in, you know, 1/12 scale, I wouldn't have room for anything. I wouldn't be able to do anything because it wouldn't fit on the bench. Right, now we need this bit. And that goes in there. It doesn't say exactly where. It just sort of points you in the right general direction. Oh no, it does. It's got little dots coming out of that big hole in the middle there. So we'll aim that to there. So then these gears are going to interact with this gear. And the same on the other side by the looks of it. So that will go through there to there. And yep, they sort of engage when it goes one way, not the other. So that goes through there like that. Then this piece, it says to wax those to make sure it's going to go in there okay, I assume. But I have sanded them down a little bit as well, so I don't expect any problems. But that's when the problems happen, isn't it? I still got the sniffles. I didn't have the sniffles until I turned the camera on. I think I must be associating with Fox too much. I'm catching it. Alright, that says that way up. The only bit that it fits in is there, which looks like that's where it is on that. So that's okay. I'll go for there then. Get that in there and try not to break anything off. Try very hard not to break anything off. Can I push on that there? Yep. Making noises. Making some of the good creaky noises, I think. Yep, that's gone on there. That's fallen out because it, you know, I held it the wrong way up, but it will go back on there fine. Don't even know if it's the same way round, but it's symmetrical, so it doesn't matter. Lynn says, if I build a train for someone in England, they won't be able to run it on their track because of the scale difference. Exactly, yes. Granaman says, I'm doing the 1/8 scale DeLorean. Been looking at the Hot Toys 1/6 scale Marty and the dock to stand next to the car. Do you think they're close enough in size to get away with it? No. No, you can get away with 144 and 148. You might get away with 1/244 and 1/248. But 1/6 and 1/8 is... Yeah, I mean, if you think 1/6 and 1/9... That's the 1/9 is half again different. So no, I think that's too far out. I think you'll break that. Unless you have them in like a forced perspective type thing. If you've got, you know, one close and the other one behind, it will look like they're further behind, if you know what I mean. That sort of thing. But yeah, no, I think that just to have them anywhere near the car would be illusion breaking. I don't know, I can't figure out now which way round it goes. 1/6 is bigger, isn't it? So the Marty and Doc would be huge. They wouldn't fit in the seats sort of thing. So yeah, I wouldn't do that. Right, now we're building this bit. So I've got that. I haven't lubricated it, but it says to, so I probably will. Because again, we're going to be sliding bits on there. So let's make sure we can slide it on without it cracking and breaking. We're starting off with these, the same either side. they both go to the middle actually, so there we go, that's the easy bit. They go to the middle, and then 47 holds them in place, which will be the next biggest thing. That will go on there, and that will go on the other side. And then the next ones go on as well. They only go down to there though, that looks right according to the next picture. So that one goes on that side, that one goes on that side. Then we've got the two tiny ones go on next to that. And that says to lubricate. What does it say to lubricate? It says to lubricate all the teeth, obviously, because, you know, they're the teeth. Graham's here. Evening, Chris. Hello, all, he says. Hello, and evening. Shane says, one of my friends built in Z gauge at 1 to 220. Yeah, I mean, a lot of boats and ships and things are done at even more than that, 350, I think, a lot of them. So, yeah, it'll all happen. 47, 48, 49. So that looks like that. It does indeed. And 50 is going to go on the outside of that. Where's this going to go? This goes through the other hole. That hole there. And that goes on there. And that will hold that in place. But before I put that in there, I am going to add some lubrication to that. Not so much that, although a little bit around the edge there a bit. I'll do the other side of that now because I'll probably forget later as well. And I'm also going to lubricate around the edge of that where this is going to sit, because that's got rolling friction going around it. So that on there means that that should turn. Let's get that one out of the way for now and see how free that is. That's not terribly free. It's alright, but it's, yeah, it will ease in just by even turn it just a little bit. Look, there you go. It's eased up enough to spin already. Eric says Z-Scale's nuts, but really cool because you can fit an entire railway in a briefcase. Yes, I'm aware of things like that having happened. Right, so if I slip that in there as well now then, what have we got? What turns what? That turns that, and that will turn that if they're down and one way, but it won't because it's all going to not work together yet. But it's getting there. Right, I am on a bit of a time limit tonight, as I will be going forwards on this Wednesday, because it looks like Ted's going to be doing a Wednesday night at 9 o'clock. So obviously I don't want to steal Ted's thunder or overlap, because everyone will just disappear and I'll be left on my own. And I'm going to sneeze again. There we go. Right. Looks like for these next stages I need all of the sprues. So there we go. Let's have a look. From 1, I need this ring. This is what I was talking about earlier at the beginning. I need that ring. I don't need any of the stuff in the middle. But obviously I've got to take the stuff in the middle off, because it won't float magically in the middle bit. So after having just cleared the box of some extra stuff, I now get to add some more extra stuff to it and not use any of the stuff from inside it at the moment. So I'll get rid of that. Also from here, I need that bit from at the top. Looks like a lot of bits from this actually. So yes, I'm going to make sure I finish in plenty of time. So this might be only a little over an hour rather than the hour and a half as normal, because you don't want an angry Ted after you, because no, that wouldn't be on. Not on at all. Right, that's that. So apart from all the bits in there that I haven't got to hand, I have to dig out. That's all I need from that one. Sniffles. It's terrible. Apologies for the sniffling. I must apologise for it. It's not that I've got anything. I was fine half an hour ago. It's just that I turned the lights on and all of a sudden my entire face is trying to escape through my nose. Right, so I need that one. This is that other bit that I need that I took off too soon, but I've got that in the box. I know exactly where that is. And then I do need the other side. So we are getting the other side assembled. Good. Any other bits from there? Not that I can see. Right, so I need lots of the pegs, which are on here. It seems like I've got extra bits from those, and to all of the rest of these, so I can keep that out. I'll get them off there because I keep the extra bits to one side. Anyway, have you eaten any chili peanuts, Chris? Says Mayhem. I don't like peanuts, so no, definitely not. I'm not allergic or anything, I just don't like them. Peanuts are not a thing that I enjoy, so no. Thank you for your very kind offer, but no, I shall decline any peanutage. So don't waste your time sending it to me. I don't think Gemma would like them either, so I'd just have to forward them to Fox or Ted. These are the bits that sort of broke at the ends on the last time, and they're sort of doing the same thing again now. Little bits from the corners chipping off, but not the important structural bits, so I think I got away with it. I certainly got away with it last time, so there we go. That should go back in the box. Oh, I'll grab the other bit that I need for next time, or this time, but you know, note to self, no peanuts for Chris or Gemma. Yeah, Chris caught the sniffles from Fox livestream sickness. Yes, it must be an internet virus. That's probably what it is. That's the wood. It might be. I doubt it, but it's possible, I suppose. I think Chris needs to mute the entire stream and Fox needs to do the commentary, says Eric. Yeah, that's probably not going to happen. Choo choo. Is that choo choo because of sneezing or because it's talking about trains? Graham says, I see scale is being discussed. Double O and HO are perfectly compatible. Trains in both scales will run on the same track. So why are they different scales then? If they're the same, they're but different. What? I don't understand that. Is it that the bodies are different scales but the track distance is the same or something? I don't get how that works. Trains, says Lynn. I don't know why she said it twice. Right. Yes. So, in other news, continuing onwards, it seems that this later time slot, although earlier than my normal 8 o'clock time slot, is still later than my midday time slot, which obviously isn't as successful or popular now. I need to break bits out of this because I don't need these either, do I? Yes, the midday time slots were lovely while it was, you know, lockdown and me and everyone else were at home during the week. But at the moment, as more and more people are returning to work and shopping and things and out, then it's obviously not going to be so successful or popular or even possible most of the days for me to do a midday stream. So I shall be progressing on to the evenings. Thursday's evening with has got its regular 8 PM. That will sit there, and at the moment, for at least, I shall be continuing to do those weekly. Not weekly, but weekly. You know what I mean? Every week rather than every other week, as I started to drift into at the beginning of the year, but then sort of drifted back away from. Yes, they shall be continuing every week. And this will be continuing on the Wednesday at 7 PM. Steve's here, Cynical Steve. Evening. Good evening. We saw your land speeder being unveiled by the Fox and very impressed with it. Lynn says she's got her eye on one of those wooden trains. Yes, if Chris is still in the chat there, he'll tell you all about that. He built one. I can't remember now if he did it. It wasn't a live stream, was it? I think he did it on a pre-recorded video thing. Right, this has all of these going in, again, just like the one on the other side, so I'll just continue to pop those in. While I continue about my ongoing plan. Now, last week, and the week before, and the week before that, and the week before that, during the lockdown, I was doing all of the live streams, obviously, keeping myself and you amused throughout the long dark. But light has returned. We're approaching, I hate to say normality, but it's getting close to being somewhat normal out there. Let's say I'm back at work. Lots of other people are back at work and being out and about, and able to leave the homes now. So daytime streaming isn't a thing that I can realistically do, or particularly want to do. On the day that I'm not working, I'm not going to be streaming during the daytime. And other people have a justifiable right and need to stream as well. So instead of streaming, I'll do the e-models on Monday. I was doing Nano on Tuesday, Wooden Wednesday, Evening with Thursday. I was doing Lego on Friday. Wasn't doing much on Saturday, sometimes a game, and then Sunday the War Hamster. Things have changed down. Ongoing plan or cunning plan? Is it a punning clan? Baldrick? No. But there is changes afoot. My intention is, while I'm continuing to find bits and put things together, that goes through that bit. No, not that bit. There's another bit that I haven't found. I'll have to go back and find the other bit. There's a number 5 that I haven't got. I wonder where that was. I can't. Was it that? No, I can't see where number 5 is. It told me to use one without actually telling me to use one. It's a tiny bit, but I should still be able to see it shaded. And there it is. Look, it's one of those bits that I should have not taken off of there. Right, let me find that. Not 50. Ugh. Not one of them. Not one of them. It's one of them. Was it off that? It's off that. Look, there it is. Yes. So my cunning plan is to cut back on my live streaming. I know a lot of you will be saying, "Oh no, please don't. Please, we need you. We love you. We want to watch you every day." But no. Sorry, but no. Other people deserve your time and attention as well. So, this week, you may have noticed already, I didn't stream yesterday. There was no Nano Tuesday. But don't fear, it's not going away. Well, it is going away, but it's not going away completely. It's moving and changing. What I am going to do is continue the Evening with on Thursday. The Sunday War Hamster, you may have noticed already, we've got Ted into it. So there's some Ted Hamster action going on every other week. So every other Sunday, or thereabouts, I will be here continuing my War Hamster, doing whatever orc stuff I've got piled up to build. And in the alternate weeks, Ted will be here doing his Baneblade. As well as that, occasionally, we're thinking maybe every month-ish or so. I've got to get this one on there as well, haven't I? It's got to go that way around. Me and Ted will join up. We'll do an Avengers-style hero team-up stream where both of us will be live on your tellies at the same time, on the same channel, sharing the limelight and sharing our adventures in vaguely learning how to do War Hamster stuff together every so often, and we'll sort of alternate which channel hosts it. So you'll find out, you'll be able to keep an eye on it, and we'll tell you what's going on like the week before and things. But we figured that was the best way of doing it. So that will be continuing then. But this week, on Friday, I shall be doing some more Nano that Lynn sent me. I don't know if she's had a chance to watch it yet, but I built the first bit of the dog. There's dog butt, which I'll be continuing on a few more layers of on Friday evening. But next week, I don't plan on doing a Friday either. So not a Friday and not a Tuesday. I shall be streaming Sunday for the Warhamster, because it's Sunday. I've got to do Warhamster because I missed out last week because it was Ted's turn. Monday, e-models. I shall be here for that as well. Then nothing on Tuesday. On Wednesday, I shall be doing some Lego. I know it's Wooden Wednesday, but Wednesday is going to be my live stream building day. So at 7 PM on Wednesdays, I'll be building a different thing every week. So this week is Wooden Wednesday. I'm doing the wooden kit. Next week, I shall be doing some Lego, because I'm just going to have done the Nano on the Tuesday. On the Friday, rather, if you're paying attention. So I'll have just done Nano, so Lego is next in the line. I have a Lego kit that Quanoman very kindly sent me. There we go, that goes on there like that. So that shall be the adventures next week, next Wednesday. Thursday will be an evening with, and then Sunday will be Warhamster, either me or Ted. So I shall just be doing the one build video a week. So I did do 3, and then 2 this week, and then 1 next week, just as things go forward. Just making sure I've got all the bits that I need for the next bit, and there's one I'm still missing, that 50 that I've got to find, but it's all got to go together first. Pizza's almost ready, says Mayhem. I didn't know. Hey, what? Lena hasn't watched it yet. She's going to watch it after this show. Alright, so you got some spoilers as to what it's going to look like, but I'm sure you'll survive. Right, so I've got to put all of this together in here somewhere. All of this joins up in there, around there, and on there. Not sure what actually holds it together. It can't just be all the wheels holding it together, can it? There must be some structural something to hold it. Is that one bit? Is that it? It might be. Got a bit of framework there to hold it together. And this bit's from the other side will eventually. So maybe, yeah. So yes, my time will be shortened, but it will be just as sweet. It will just be shortened a bit. There we go. Now we get some action of things turning and moving together in action and playing and turning and things. There you go. If Chris and Ted do an Avengers team-up, does that mean Ted will dress up as Captain America and Chris will dress up as Thor? We haven't discussed costume options. We have discussed making sure that there's alcohol present, but that's a different story. Right, I need the bit labelled 50, which I have here. Let's get that off of there. Let's get that sanded down and good to go. Pepperoni pizza, is it? It's pepperoni pizza. Oh. Chris, whiskey versus brandy. What versus? I'm sure they'll be complimenting. It's not a it's not a competition build off. It's just a friendly get together. We figured it'd be interesting for you lot to have the occasional, as you say, sort of team up, and it'll be interesting for us because apart from anything else, it's I won't say it's hard work doing this, talking to people, because there's nobody there. It's the talking to yourself that's the tricky bit, because there's nobody here, and that makes it tricky, because I've just got to talk to people that can hear me but I can't hear them unless they do the talking in the chat, in which case I can sort of hear them a little bit but not really, but you know what I mean, you know how it is. Right, so that bit goes on there now, because I've got that together. That's got to go on there. This will also help to hold it all together a bit as well, although that's really tight on there. It's the same as the bit the other side, so it shouldn't be too bad. There we go. That's got it started. So starting is always the tricky bit. then you can lever it a bit and wobble it a bit. Got to wobble it just a little bit. The trouble is now I've got very little to actually push against. I've got, yeah, that's the longest bit, so I can actually push against that. Although that's really not having it. So I won't take that back off again. Right, let's a little bit more sanding. A little bit more sanding. Sandy, sandy, sandy. Turn it round a bit. Sandy, sandy, sandy. Turn it round a bit. Sandy, sandy, sandy. Steve says, I always talk to myself in work. Crazy part is carrying on conversations with different accents. I don't do accents. I can only just do my own accent, let alone anyone else's. So, yeah, don't expect much of that going on. Ted might do accents. I don't know that he will. Right, that's that. Now, let's get this the same way round again. So I can put that to the top. That's got to go that side, so that's there. We've got the little dot on this again to make sure it lines up with things. That's gone on there easier. I don't know if it was the sanding or the other bit, but whichever bit worked. So that's on there with the 13 on the top. That's the other bit, the one with the dot on it. So that will go on there, and that's another one of these ratchets that sort of fits in across from the other side, like that bit, I think. Right, so that's that. Then we've got this, which goes over the end here. Do I need to lubricate any of that? Yes, I better lubricate, because that's again turning across this whole flat area. So I don't want the flat bit to rubbing against itself. That goes through there, nothing on there. This one goes across there, so again that's going to be potentially rubbing a bit. See, there is actually a cross on that. Let's get that pointing the same way. A little dash on there. Doing that. Right, so that is engaged on there as well. So there's almost certainly going to be an elastic band doing something down here on the next stage. But that will be engaging and disengaging in sequence with the one on that side. There's no... This must be the big windy up bit, because with that engaged onto there to make it stop, you get the clicky thing which is moving that, which isn't moving anything else. And with that go, you can go the other way. Actually no, you can't go the other way now because of all the gears and things. And that's still free running on there. I don't know, I'm trying to figure out how it's going to work together. There we go, that turns that way, and going that way it doesn't turn, but it sort of will, because it's turning all the extra stuff. It's turning this bit as well when that goes down. So that does work, it's just gearing and things. So right, I understand it will sort of work. Eric says Chris is distracted, so we should all migrate to Ted's stream right now. You could. I'd notice, but you could. There we go, now that's free. And turning. I will need to give that some turning action just to bed it all in. So even now that's a lot freer than it was to begin with. Goes both ways. One way it doesn't turn all the gears, and the other way it does, because of this gear thing that we built up in there. Right, let's have a look. Yes, this is the bit with the rubber band, which I've got to do. I shall do that and then see what time. I'll probably get the other half of this bit done as well, because that was sort of tied into there last time. And then there'll be one more episode of this to finish off with all the other bits, and that seems about right. So let's have a look what we got here. We've got bits from the bits that I've taken off already. The little clippy piece from down there. The big bit from there. Big bit from down there, which I haven't even got the sprue on for yet, but that was it from that little bit. Which bit was that? That was down here, so it's that bit. There we go. Or is it? No, it's not. It's that bit. The other side. I had it the wrong way up. There we go. Can't beat a good Hawaiian. You can, because it's got pineapple on it. And you don't need pineapple on pizza. That's not where it belongs. Ugears here. Good afternoon time, whatever time it is for you there. Nothing from there. That bit, that bit, that bit. Probably all of those. From the other one, I need more cogs. Cogs. Not that. Not that. What sprue is it? 2. 2. Get that one out of the way. Right, from 2 we need 56, 56, 56 and 56. At least I can't get them mixed up. That's fairly easy. That one. That one. I thought these were middle bits that came out, but it's not. It's only printed from one side. It's just decorative. That one and that one. Then I need that bit from down the corner. Nothing from up the top. Those 2 bits from in the middle, and that's it. Except for another elastic band. Or I'll use the same bit. No point in wasting a whole elastic band for that, when I've got the half the elastic band from last time. Lynn wants pineapple now, apparently. Right. First up, as ever, sanding. Get rid of the rough edges so it fits together properly and feels nice in your hand. Your wood should always feel good when you've got it in your hand. It shouldn't get splinters or anything from it. So hopefully you'll understand my ongoing plan. If you don't, it's not a problem. Just, you know, I'm sure you've all liked and subscribed and clicked the notification bell so you'll know when things come up and appear, and I'll put up the links for the coming week so you can all follow along and plan your weeks accordingly. Less planning for me now because it's, you know, just going to be the days. You should all figure out what day's what. It's not so bad for me now, as it, having to figure out, you know, oh, it's Wednesday, I've got to be doing the wood thing. Or the other way around, which is what normally happened, is that, oh, I'm doing the wood thing, it must be Wednesday. So hopefully people can understand what day it is now without me. Yeah. One other announcement I have to make, which I shall wait till the end of the video, and I shall make a quick announcement. But that's all good thing. Well, it's all good things, but you know, it's especially a good thing. You'll be all right. Athel says it's time for a rollie, which he means a cigarette apparently, and I walk out onto his balcony to sunbathe and check my roses for greenfly. So ta-ta. Oh, bye Athel. Hope you don't get greenfly. You should give up smoking though. It's bad for you. Right. Little bit of sanding. More if it needs it, but I don't think it does. Steve says, I have the like, subscribe and bells, but only found tonight's stream by accident. No notifications about it, Chris. Well, unfortunately. I'm not in charge of the YouTube notifications. It should have happened, but yeah. I did post up about it on my channel and the Boom Hut earlier today as well. So, yeah, I don't like to shout about it too much. I do like to shout about it occasionally. I'm much better than I used to be as well. But there's still a limit to how much shouting I feel comfortable doing. I don't like to pimp my channel, you know, every 10 minutes until it goes live. So I put one up earlier, reminding people that it wasn't at the regular time, but it was later. So, yeah. Lynn didn't get one either. Yeah, YouTube are still obviously having fun with their connecting everybody to everything things. Right, so this goes on there. Just the same as it did on the other side, just as the exact mirror, so you can obviously control them both from one side or either side by the looks of it. So that's all okay. Then we need to make the little loop again. Now this was to make a loop of 10 millimeters by the looks of it. So it's sort of there. So if I tie a knot in there, how's the easy way of tying a knot in the end there? Just like that, I think. I'll do it that way round. No, that won't work. I'll have to go from that. I don't know how to do it now. How did I do it last time? It was just a big knot on the end of it, in the middle. But I'd rather use an end because it makes more sense to me. Let's twiddle it and push it through and then hope for the best. About there, I think. Right. That's a knot in an elastic band. Or rubber band, depending on where you are in the world. Which is a little bit too small, but not by very much. So by tightening and twisting and pulling, when that gets tightened, you'll find that that's about the right size. So I do need the one thing they don't supply in the kit, a knife. I shall cut off the excess end and other bit. That's going to be of no use whatsoever. I'll dispose of that. But that, you never know, I might need another little elastic band bit for it. So this is going to go exactly the same as the other one did, around that bit, which is going to go in there somewhere. So it's got a hook around that bit in there. Pokey thing, come on, do your thing, pokey thing. There we go, that's pokey thing poked. And then get this the right way round. What way round? It doesn't really show me a close-up. That way round by the looks of it. And that goes over the middle bit. Oh, it's got to go that way round because one of those holes is bigger than the other. So that goes in there like that. Being careful to try and get in there to support the other side of this that I'm pushing it into. Edward's here, almost missed it. Hi everyone, and Chris. Hello. Were you also not getting the notifications about it? Is it YouTube trying to nobble me? They think I've got too many subscribers, so they're not letting you out. Why is that not going down now then? What's that caught around? Nothing, it's just not. So that will now do exactly the same as the other side. Not quite as well for some reason. That's going down nicely. This side isn't. It's probably still just got some wearing in to do. But anyway, that was that. So that was that. Now we've got to put this bit together. So that bit there and that bit in there. Yes, that way round. I like to double check which way round things go now, because, you know. Yes, just got it now, says Edward. Yeah, a little bit later than intended, but yeah, welcome anyway. Actually, I didn't sand the inside of that hole, which I should do first. Just to check no lumpy bits. And then a little bit of lubrication, because it says to. And then that goes over there. Does that hold over that bit? Yeah, and that bit goes in there. What? That should be the other way round then. So I put that peg in there the wrong way round, so that's why it's not turning properly, probably. Let's see, how do I get that back out of there? Just by pulling it, I think. I can't really push it, I can try. It's that bit there. It is that bit there. I can see it. There it goes. It moves. It moves. It's popped out. So let's turn that round that way. Actually, while I've got that out, I shall apply some more lubrication to it, just to make sure that's got free running. And then it's got to go in vertically. Yes. So let's move that out there, that up there. Apologies for my arms and fingers being in the way, but you know, that's where they're attached to. Come on. It's got to go a bit higher. It's about there. And then it's got to go that way around. Like that. Just like that. Not like that. Like that. Right. So then that will go on there like that. And that holds that in place. And that goes on there. Before I do that, let's see. Yeah, it might be a bit freer. It's probably okay. That piece looks like a dog on a ski. Yeah, I can see how you're seeing that. Yeah, I'd give you that. This is the tricky bit where you've got to get this bit. It's got to be raised up before this goes over, and then it clips in, and then everything goes around it. So that clips on there and there, like that. Those two have got to go in there. Everything else has got to go through there, like that. Clippy clip, screamy screech. Clip, screech. Squish. Sorry, I can't say squish. Lewis has stolen that. Copyrighted that. That's that. And then that bit has to go over the top of it. Just like it did the other side. Which, if I remember, was quite tight. So this one's going to be even tighter because it's at a dodgy angle. So let's add some lubrication to that. Doing the second side of something is always going to be trickier because the first side is already in place. There we go. Trying not to push on these little bits down the bottom there. Right, so that should have joined up all of that. So that turns like that and clicks when that's engaged. So if I disengage that, it won't click anymore. And it should turn the other way as well, which it does, and that engages that bit down the bottom. Cool, right. So that's that. But 2 more things to add, or 4 more things to add, 2 more either side. These 2 have to go onto the big wheel. So these are obviously like the winding type wheels-ish, maybe? I don't know, we'll figure it out. We'll just do what we're told. Now, which way round do they go? They're slightly wider one side than the other, so that fits. So we'll go that side. So we'll do the same again with the other one. Somewhere. Not like that, because that would be opposite. Not like that. But like that. Okay, that's that one. Same on this side then. Which side fits? That side doesn't fit. That side does, so we go that side. And again, not that way. That way. Yeah, that makes that a lot easier to do whatever winding needs to be done on that. So that's now engaging when it goes one way and not the other, so you can sort of power it. That's quite cool. Right, so that's that completed, and I think that's a good place to stop, because that's sort of the same place as I got to last time. There's more axles and things to add in next time, but I don't know what any of that does. That's the back wheels, and then more supports, and then more power. So it might be another 2 weeks on that, but we'll see. They might be slightly shorter, but they'll be fun. And I say 2 weeks, but of course it's not next week. It'll be two more episodes, but they'll be spread over the forthcoming weeks. So let's get the instruction manual out of the way. Let's have a last little look at the operation of it, because I'm quite happy with how that works. It's quite smooth. Even turning it like that, it keeps itself orientated. And going the other way, even though it's turning more gears, it's still not turning the whole kit. So I like that. I like that a lot. A thing just beeped at me, but I've got the chat in the way. I can't see what it is. I'll have to try and keep an eye on the little thing up there. There we go. It looks like a new subscriber. So welcome. I couldn't read the name. It was too small, but welcome. Are we sure Ted's having a live stream tonight? He hasn't set it up. As far as I know, he was. I did see a post about it earlier, I think. Although it may have been last week's. I don't know for sure. But I'm pretty sure. So yeah, that won't go that way now because that teeth's engaged. It'll go that way and click, and that would be obviously winding it up. And then doing that would free it to turn. So that's even turning that, but that's what that's attached to, so that's okay. Right, there we go. Right, so that's that. I've even got plenty of... I'll dip into that while I watch Ted if he's on. I'll come back over here. Right, I did say there was one more announcement to make, and there is. It is very well lit at the moment. You can't actually see it. But, oh, it's behind the thing as well. Oh, tricky things. I'll have to move, look. It's there. It's that. These are the rubbish bits from today. I'll get rid of them. I have a fairly large steamboat that I've built. The Mississippi Steamboat. Which is not just a normal build for me. That will be appearing on my channel tomorrow morning. So, it certainly should be appearing tomorrow. I've got last bit of thinking to do and uploading it, but yeah. At some point during the day tomorrow, that will be going live. Keep an eye out for it, because there's things you might need to look at and do quicker than later to see stuff and things. But have a look at that on my channel soon, the Mississippi Steamboat build. Other than that, that's it for tonight. Tomorrow is, of course, Thursday, so there is an evening with. It's not the last one of the month, is it? No, we're still halfway through the month. So it's an evening with the gang. Mississippi rolling on the river, he said. Rolling on the river, says Mayhem. Yes, absolutely. That's a lovely looking Mississippi riverboat thing, says Steve as well. Thank you very much. You can see more of it tomorrow, as I video, not a premiere or anything. It will just appear on the channel. Probably mid-morning, I would expect, depending on things. I'll set it up, but keep an eye on the channel, like and subscribe. When you can watch it, because interesting stuff happening with it. Other than that, I shall see you soon. Tomorrow night, as I say, 8 PM, which is sort of now in 24 hours time, just under. I shall be appearing here live in front of you again, with hopefully some of the gang and some of my patrons possibly joining in, just for another hour and a half of chat and merriment and stuff and things. And then, say, nothing Friday, nothing Saturday. Sunday is my turn again with the War Hamster, so I'll be back Sunday at 8 PM. Monday, more e-models, more whatever's going to happen. We don't know what we're going to do. It's not like we plan things, so things will happen. And then we're back to later in the week, so next Wednesday will be Lego time. So, yes. No, Friday I am. I said no Friday. There is a Friday. This week there is a Friday. The last Friday build. The Nano Dog. Friday build, 7 PM. But the week after there isn't. But this week there is. So, yes, that's that. So, Thursday, Friday, Sunday. And then Wednesday. And then Thursday, and then Sunday. So yeah, I'm here lots. I'm not as much as I have been, but enough. So thank you all for watching. Hope you're all enjoying it and staying safe. That will be put aside for another 2 or 3 weeks now. I won't do any more in the background because I don't need to. I'll just keep it going, and we'll see. Maybe next time I'll finish it. Maybe I won't. Whatever happens. I do have another wooden thing lined up for when it does. So things will progress onwards. The Nano is the last one that I've got there, but again there's another 2 or 3 weeks left in that easy. The Lego kit, there is only one kit I've got on that in line for that to build on next week. Yes, next Wednesday will be the Lego kit. The last one I've got at the moment, but it'll be a few weeks before we get back around to Lego again. I might have more by then. If I have got more, then I'll be building it. If I haven't, then I might. It depends what I see, if I want to pick it up, if I can afford it. There is still my Amazon wishlist thing, which still has some Lego in it. If you want to help me out, then send me some of that and I'll build it in sequence as and when I get it. But other than that, have fun, enjoy yourselves, stay safe, but go out and do a bit of shopping now, because shops are open and they need your custom, because we've been shut for 3 months. We need people to come back in, but stay safe, distance yourselves when you're out and about, and keep yourselves safe and lovely, because you're always lovely anyway, but you know what I mean. So thank you all for watching. I shall see you soon tomorrow night for Evening with the Gang. That's it, bye bye, thanks for watching, good night.